Richard Sherman. This is interesting. He could have been on the 49ers starting this week because Norman's most likely not going to start, and neither is Verrett. And the starters are going to be like Emmanuel Mosley and Dre Kirkpatrick, probably, or Dante Johnson, or Diamond Orlenar. Could have been Sherman. Instead, he's going to be starting most likely for the Bucs.
Not Dante Johnson.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not the biggest Richard Sherman fan, but he's better than Dre Kirkpatrick.
So, yeah. As we know, I love Richard Sherman.
So it's kind of strange that the Niners didn't sign him. It almost seems like he just chose to go to the Bucs, or the Niners weren't interested and should have been. So do you want to hear Matt Mayoko's 3 questions for Kyle Shanahan on this topic from Wednesday? Because
let's break them down.
Okay, these were rapid fire, one after the other. Matt Mayoko says, recently both you and General Manager John Lynch have said that you weren't going to close the door on Richard Sherman. Obviously, he signed today with the Buccaneers, but what made the 3 guys that you signed the past 3 weeks at that position, what made them better fits at this stage for where you guys are? That's Buster Skrine, Dre Kirkpatrick, and Josh Norman. Second question. So did you guys, when Richard declared to go visit Tampa, were you guys in touch with him about possibly bringing him back? And he said, yeah. And then the final question is, just to clarify, you have Emmanuel Mosley and Josh Norman, who I'm assuming are your starters. Did you not envision Richard as a starter if he were to come in right now? So he needs a couple weeks to get ready at least. And there's contract things that go into it also. Is he not starting this week? He's going to be active. We'll see.
Did you know your question was aired on NBC, right?
Which question?
The one about was it you that said, just so you were clear, it's this and that are starters, right?
That was Mayoko. That was
Mayoko. Okay, but yeah. Okay, no, your quarterback question about the what was it? The training camp, about how he alluded to the fact that he had 2 quarterback system. That was on NBC, I think, with Phil Simms.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that was a good question, right?
First off, you blew them up with that question. I'll send you the link, but that was the whole show. They played your soundbite, and that was the show.
See, to me, like, there's these big questions hanging over the organization, like the elephants in the room.
Yeah.
And everyone's afraid to ask them. And when you do ask them, Kyle Shanahan gives you a look like you asked about his sex life. It's like, wait a second, man. That's your first-round pick. I'm not allowed to ask about your first-round pick. He asked, like, why are you asking about my backup quarterback? Why do backup quarterbacks have to get so many questions? Anyway, we're talking about Richard Sherman.
So let's go back.
Think of the Niners?
So let's go over the first question. What's the first question again?
Okay, the first question. Recently, both you and General Manager John Lynch have said that you weren't going to close the door on on Richard Sherman. Obviously, he signed today with the Bucs. But what made the 3 guys that you signed the past 3 weeks at that position, what made them better fits at this stage for where you guys are? And he's like, it's more the timing. We weren't sure if they're going to start or what kind of role we had. And Sherman's a starter. We needed to know. And then we needed an inside guy. And you know how Kyle does. He just buries you in words and details.
Well, first off, they did know. They knew they would need starters. That's why they go out and got all these people. That's why we're down to Buster Skrine. Or Skrine?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, fair.
I think
we're down to Buster, okay?
Yeah.
The bottom line is that, he would have ended up as a starter. I think they knew that. Josh Norman, I think we got lucky with. I don't think we evaluated his talent level well. I think he had a minor resurgence for a short period of time. I really feel for him that he got his lungs bruised. Oh my goodness, that's terrible.
Terrible, yeah.
It's just a freak thing. Talk about a shot to your ribs, And it just blows my mind. So I feel for him. But the bottom line is, I'm not sure I'm a huge Norman, Skrine, and Kirkpatrick fan that I would not trade those.
You're not a Buster Skrine fan?
I didn't know who Buster Skrine was. People say I know a little bit about football. People say I know a little
Buster
bit.
Skrine fan.
I did not know who he was, and I almost hung up my hat. I clearly am not an expert of any kind because I don't know who Buster is. I had to look him up. Some Bears, some other stuff.
They got to play him this week to justify this, right? They got to play him.
That's the point.
He'll be in the slot.
The name Buster alone basically emasculates their position here.
Oh,
so basically, it's 1, 2, 3 cornerbacks later. Did they think about Richard Sherman? I'm not sure. I think Richard Sherman is such a class act that he basically did not throw the 49ers under the bus. I know everyone has problems with Richard Sherman, but the way he worded it was, we just didn't go we didn't go in that direction.
He didn't burn the bridge.
Tom Brady. He made it more about Tom Brady. And that's what I like. That's the mark of a leader. When someone comes to you and say, why didn't it work? Your response would be like, well, it worked, and this is why. So he just immediately kind of shifted it towards, no. It did work. Tom Brady gave me a call. And he kind of made it a positive thing. You see what I'm saying? And so but I think that's telling. I think you can read right between Sherman's lines as they didn't make me an offer, or they didn't make me a good offer, or they didn't call. I don't know which one it is. Which do you think it is?
I don't know. My question to you, why is he not on this team right now? Is it because of what happened a few months ago? Probably. I would think that.
Tom Brady is really good at hard cases, or what people consider hard cases.
Yes.
I want to say for the record, the brain, like the body and like your car, it is a machine that needs work. And there's nothing wrong with it breaking down once in a while. We all cry, we all suffer, we've all been sad. So what happened to Richard Sherman does not bother me. As long as he gets help, as long as there's public accountability, which he has had, and no one really got hurt. That's all that matters to me. But Tom Brady, he would have taken it a step further, like Antonio Brown, for instance. And Antonio Brown, he's a good boy now. He's behaving himself because Tom Brady's at the helm. And the other thing that's really cool to Richard Sherman is mentally, I will say this, the pressure to be a leader is gone.
Yeah.
I think he will be the defensive backs leader. He might even be the defensive captain after a few weeks. But Tom Brady, it's his ship, it's his show. Richard Sherman has to come and do one thing, play. That's all. Plug and play. That's attractive, but I think it was more attractive to him to come back to San Francisco. So we had to push him out. That's the thing. I think
You're saying Richard Sherman said, hey, guys, it's not you, it's me. It's not
to the public, but I still think he would rather have been here.
Tobin wants to know if we're watching a slow motion car wreck.
I certainly felt that way in the first half on Sunday.
I mean, Kittle has a calf injury that he's been nursing since week
K1
one.
Williams has a calf injury. How many calf injuries? He needs to get himself a pair of high heels and learn how to walk, because K1 Williams gets calf injuries too much.
Would that fix it? Walking in high heels?
Clearly, he has weak calves.
Calves. So that's a good point.
Ladies?
That's just a lot of it's like calf raises all night.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's a good point. It could be
it's
a
kind of a joke
I'm
I'm making.
I think
really,
the way
there
the
are
Niners are
better ways
looking
to
here
work
is like
calves, but
they gave away a game they should have won. They should be 3-0. Let's see. I mean, they haven't gotten blown out yet. They haven't gotten outclassed.
Let me say this. That loss is going to determine playoff positioning and seeding later. These are the games you have to win, because you will lose to the Rams at least once. The same thing to the Seahawks, and the same thing to the Cardinals. You have to say, if we get out of the division at 500, that's a win.
Yeah, agree.
Basically, no harm, no foul.
Agreed.
But to lose these games, which you have in the bag, with a great matchup with your defensive line against an immobile quarterback, it's not going to get easier. It's going to get harder. These are the games that you might come up in the season later, one game short of the first seed, second seed, or even making the playoffs altogether, and you'll say, damn, that game in where Green Bay came to town, that was the deciding factor. Every game matters.
Seconds.
I don't like this philosophy where we're like, well, it's a long season. No, it's not. It's a short season. It's not baseball.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Trey Niner says, Grant, for the record, you didn't want Sherman. Yeah, in March. I'll take him over Dre Kirkpatrick.
You wanted him now. It was obvious.
Yeah.
The train is on fire. We need help.
I definitely would have signed Sherman over Kirkpatrick and Screen.
That's just the football analyst and you being objective.